for the past 11 months. Normally when I share testimony, it will be something good that's happened in my life, it's been a struggle. So today will be about the latter. So since very young, I suffered from dental phobia. So I went to the dentist when I was very young and had some very uncomfortable surgery. I didn't look after my teeth very well. And I had many things done, and there was a time where I nearly suffocated in the dentist. There was another time where breathing was quite difficult. And there came a point where I started avoiding going to the dentist completely, until a point where I really had to go. I had some major pain in my teeth and I had no choice to join the dentist again. So this year in May, I was having a Vietnamese dinner, and then I fractured partially one of my teeth. And I felt at that time I lost that tooth already. So I thought I have to make an appointment with the dentist, but only a month later I made that appointment with the dentist. And she was in nearby, and when I went there I thought this is one issue to be sorted out, probably the only issue, because all my teeth absolutely fine, no pain, nothing. But when I went there, it was I had an X-ray and it was a nightmare scenario, because when I went there, the dentist said I got many decay, 4 of my teeth needed fillings, 3 other teeth, including the one that was fractured, needed root canal treatment. And should this root canal treatment be successful, then I go on to have 2 crowns plus 1 post, because one of the teeth that I had 20% of structure left. So from that point I was a little bit shocked, because the amount of work that I need to do and the amount of visits I need to make to the dentist, so every session was going to be uncomfortable for me. But then they managed to start with the fillings straight away, all fillings in one day. The next day I had to go for my root canal treatment. So I had to go to Queen's Bay for that one. And I was very nervous, and I had that stomach cramp beforehand, and I needed to use the toilet before I started my treatment there. And when I went there, I had my injection for the root canal, and then the dentist started putting his thumb around my mouth, and I wasn't quite sure what she was doing at that time. And I felt so dizzy, and I asked her, "Can you please remove it?" And so she removed it, but then I was thinking, what's her next move now? Is she going to refuse treatment full stop, or is she going to come up with another solution? So the other solution was she put something around my lips, which was to protect my lips, and I had to bite on something, which meant my mouth was wide open for the whole time there. Actually, that day I was there for 3 hours, so until 2 p.m. without any lunch. So I think my heart was beating very fast during that session, and during that treatment there was a lot of stuff going towards my throat, and I was trying not to cough or swallow. It was so difficult. There's so much noise and so much vibration going on. So at that point I was starting to think, is this actually worth it, going through this, and this is only the first session, and I'll probably have 7 weeks of treatment to come as well. But then, during that treatment, a bit later on, I started having stomach cramps again, and then I really needed the toilet again. And I requested for a break, and then I still have to wait 10 minutes for a break, halfway through that treatment. So during that break, I went to the toilet, but also during that time, God spoke to me as well. There's like 2 scriptures that came to mind. I think the first one about not being worried, anxious. So Philippians 4:6 says, "Do not be anxious about anything, with everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." And then the next one is all about perseverance. In the book of James it says, "Because your pure joy to face trials of many kinds, and to test your faith will develop perseverance, perseverance will develop character and maturity." So that really helped me to move forward, and because in that situation I have a choice, I can just walk away from this whole thing, say, and sacrifice and lose 2 or 3 teeth, or I can be a warrior and fight and just do whatever it takes to save these teeth. Even though dentists will say there's no guarantee that this root canal is going to work, no guarantee these teeth are actually going to be saved, but in the end, they did in the end. You know, I had to go a lot from uncomfortable, 6 or 7 weeks to come. Everything went fine. There was a root canal treatment. I had my temporary crown, my permanent crown was done. And after that, the post was done as well, actually. And throughout this process, what I've learned is speak to God, trust in God, and persevere. And then happy days.
Brothers and sisters, this is a testimony of how God's kingdom being lifted up through James' life. God didn't remove his fear. You see that? God didn't remove his fear, but in his fear, God granted him the peace. God granted him the peace through the powerful word of God's promise. Brothers and sisters, I think some of us might be struggling with some hidden fear in our life. I think if you are still struggling with certain fear and you need encouragement, James will be the best person to empathize and make you stronger. But anyway, this morning, I would like to take this time to pray. For any one of you that you discover yourself as certain fear. I have the fear of height. Even though I stand, I can get. Let's give James a big hand.